Hello and welcome. I am here today with Chris Johnson.
Hello.
And we are going to talk a little bit about tension and anxiety. So a personal story for me is in my work here at Singeo and with Piano, we have so many opportunities to perform. So what will happen is I'll sit down with a famous artist, for example, Victoria Theodore, and she'll be playing the piano and I'll be singing along. And then it'll suddenly occur to me that I'm singing a song with Beyonce's keyboard player.
Right.
And then it's just game over. My vocal gets tight and tense and I get really in my head and the whole performance suffers.
I hear you.
So I feel like I'm not alone in some of this anxiety around performing. So I would love to hear your thoughts on how to deal with that. This video is gonna blow your mind, and we have an entire course from Chris Johnson inside the Singeo members area where he teaches how body movement impacts our voices. So you can access this entirely free using the 7-day trial below this video.
There's an interesting thing about voice and perceived fear is like kind of part of anxiety is like not feeling very safe and threatened or judged.
Yeah, like
right?
What are they gonna think when they watch this video and I'm not Beyonce, ah!
Yes, totally. And Beyonce would have gone through these portions maybe in her career as well, right? Because it does take time to build what you'd call self-efficacy and be happy with an environment. But what happens in that is if there's a perceived fear, there's something like if you were, say, a cave person and you were presented with a life-threatening environment, there's things that happen in the body, but if we talk specifically about the voice, the vocal cords and the larynx can become very tense because their job is, if the vocal folds stay tense, you can get air in and out of your body real quick, like if you have to run. Or you can shut the larynx, you can go, huh, as if you have to throw your arms for a fight.
I'm ready to go.
We're talking fight or flight.
Okay.
So the voice itself reacts strongly to perceived fear. So when you try and control it, it's full of tension and you cannot orientate yourself in that environment. And we're not even talking about how your breath might get a bit. So we're just talking about voice. So one of the best things for that is if you feel tension in those environments, most people try and go away and work on the tension. But this is about going away and working on the anxiety, okay? That will reduce the tension. And the way we do that is, you know, I'm not like an anxiety qualified person, so I don't deal with anxiety in that way. But environments create the anxiety, as do people that you're in front of. So, as best you can, we need to, if I was giving you advice, I would alter the environment you're in frequently in order for you to start getting used to safe but altered environments regularly. So, someone who only ever sings at home and then comes into this situation in a dry room, you know, we like singing in the bathroom because it sounds way better.
Yes, so nice.
Right? And then you come into a dry room with a film crew, with a really hot pianist, and you're like, uh-oh.
Yes, that's what happened.
You've never, and that is like 0 to 100, it's baptism of fire.
Yeah.
But what I do with singers, let's say that was a performance. If I get singers ready for a performance and I'm aware that their environment at home is very safe, they're not going to experience the fight or flight.
No.
I have to get them to start going to rooms, like sometimes a rehearsal room, and they have to go to a room where it doesn't sound good, and they have to practice their songs so they get used to a bit of a cruddy environment. Right, and then they because they're on their own, they're like, it sounds weird in here, it's not the best room to sing in, but I'm safe enough to remember my job and my technique. Then you might mic it up instead of being in a bathroom. So then the mic environment makes the ears and the brain kind of go, oh, again, this is different. You might invite someone into the room who you know. Who you sing in front of, who they're not gonna like, they're not Beyonce's pianist, it might be your mum, who cares? It's just gonna go, anyway.
You're amazing.
So that's cool, but their energy is enough to make you start being put off.
You still feel it here a little bit.
Yes, even your family,
especially
but
your family.
It's not enough to send you off into fight or flight again. And gradually you keep altering the environment and the people you sing in front of so that you get brilliant at adapting to a change. And great singers like Beyonce, they've performed in small venues, large venues, great sound, rubbish sound, whilst dancing, whilst not dancing on television. they are experienced in all environments, right? So for them to step into a venue that they've never seen,
no big deal.
They've done it thousands and thousands of times. But most singers have been in their safe space and then go into somewhere crazy and go, well, I'm not ready for that.
Of course not.
And it's understandable.
This makes so much sense when you put it that way.
Yes.
Like, oh, well, obviously I'm going to, think I am running for my life.
Yes.
When I'm really having it's the craziest thing is like at the time I'm having this most epic moment where I'm like, this is the best moment of my life. I'm also convinced I'm going to die. It's just not fair. So this is really, really helpful.
It's a great way to look at it, I think.
So in the moment, I was trying to sing in this example of the song Halo. In the moment, is there anything that I can do, like as an exercise, take 5 minutes to kind of relax some of the tension that might be coming in, aside from the anxiety and the feeling of
Yes. So one of the things, in the video series that we've done here, if breath was to be part of a way to kind of calm the body down, then buoyancy can feel rather nice. And if you were to start singing like this and bring in those breaths in easy and out easy and singing almost on a sigh, then maybe that might be a way to just get your body into what might feel like the character that isn't scared, just for a minute, okay? You're not going to take this in front of Beyonce's pianist, of course. What are you doing?
Oh, she would actually be like, this is a great idea. She would join me in this case. So be like, remember those walls are built, baby, they're tumbling down.
That's right.
They didn't even put up a fight. They didn't even make a sound. Oh, this feels really like floaty.
Yeah, you can kind of hold it there for a bit.
I feel calm.
Yes.
I feel like I could just go take a nap now, actually.
Lovely.
I'm going to do this in my life.
Not here.
Not here.
But no, that's really good. It's kind of, again, using the body to trick the mind. It's really hard to use the mind to control the mind.
Ooh.
Really hard.
Whoa. It's hard. Okay. It's difficult to use the mind to control the mind. You're using the body to control.
That's right. You need a kind of different direction. You need to kind of work. Your body is a whole thing. It's not just your mind and your body, and they're totally separate. They do interplay and they respond to each other. So if you can't change your thoughts with your thoughts, then you can use movement in order to change your thoughts, and at least that might take the edge off.
Yes.
The fight or flight before you get in there. And another thing is, if that pianist, if she was not here, I would come and sing in this room before she arrived, so you could get used to the sound and come to terms with the environment before you do it. And when the first day I did that was in an audition for a musical theatre thing. I'm not a musical theatre singer. They were looking for pop singers.
Okay.
But I turned up crazy early to a venue in like the West End, crazy, and they let me in. It's about 8 a.m. 8 a.m. I've got a train to London from about 6 a.m. I got in there and I whacked it out in a room. There was a piano there, and I sang for about 40 minutes in the room. The best audition I'd ever done was after that, because I was completely. I'd come to terms with the environment. And every other audition I went to, which is like, you've got the train, you're late, they're going to think I'm late, I don't even know if I've got my things in my folder, and then you get there and it's a room you've never sung in and it's dry as hell, and then they ask you to sing and you are just not ready. Right? So that, when I think about that, if there's an opportunity to come to terms with the environment before the person gets there,
that's really good advice.
It's a great thing to try and do if you can.
Love it. So, my friends, I hope there's something helpful for you in here. I know I've learned something, so I got some things to practice. So, comment below. Let us know if you can relate. If you have any questions, you can drop those below too. And thanks for hanging out.
Thank you.
Bye.